Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to the stream. We're about to get back into doing some more of that putting together of like pretty cool objects and that kind of thing. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so yeah, so I just want to say hello to everyone out there, and I hope your day is going really well. Yeah, let's get right back into it. I think last time we did a like a hard surface piece, that had like gold and blue and that kind of thing, so I'm gonna like probably do like a low resolution mesh on that, and we do some quick retopology, nothing too extensive, hopefully, and then we're gonna do some texturing and stuff on that. So we're gonna jump right into it. Not too much talk again. Let's go. Okay, let's get right to it. Hey, shouting all you guys out. So I was actually I downloaded a new version of 3D Coat that was a little more updated because I was getting some problems with rendering and that kind of thing. So now the render is fixed. We just jump in here and things look pretty nice and rendered. But how's your day going? How's your Friday going? I mean, my Friday here is pretty cold. Okay, so this is the final piece that we have. We're gonna retopo this. So the way you do it here in 3D Code, actually, let's give some of this stuff some names here. So I'm gonna call this part here kind of like outer ring. Before I continue, let's do a webcam. I don't know why. I just feel like putting the webcam on for a minute. There you go. Hey, got my jacket on. I should take this off. It's so cold up here. You can feel it like even throughout the house sometimes. But I was actually out, so. I can never get this thing angled right. Okay, there we go. There we go. Yeah, so I'm twinning with old xsin Nick here, and X Nicky over there. She's just keeping us company, and of course you're keeping me company. For some reason, I have like a box that sends wireless signals out, and for some reason, it's like limiting my, like I can't get the wireless on my phone. It's like, oh, we see the wireless signal, but you may not be able to get the internet through here. I was like, what? Is that something that Time Warner is doing, or does anyone know? Not Time Warner, is now Spectrum, right? So like, does anyone know? Do you know if like, if you could still get the wireless signal and not get internet through there? I don't know what's going on. I mean, I'm seeing that here. I don't know. But so I'm actually using my data to get internet on my phone at home. So that's kind of piss offy. So I kind of what I did. I actually ordered a new wireless router to send a, you know, I think the one that we have maybe can not working so well. So we'll see how it works. If at that point I'm still not getting, I'm still not able to broadcast a wireless internet signal, then I'm gonna have to talk to Spectrum and see if there's something that they're doing with the signal. I'm not sure. Let me know if you ever encountered anything like that. Okay, so this should be pretty straightforward to do a retopo on this. So let's go right ahead. Oh yeah, before we do that, I was actually naming these things properly. So I'm gonna name this part here. I'm seeing outer gold ring. In the gold tabs. Might end up losing these names anyway. Gold, not golf. Okay, let's go. Okay, that's all one. Call that inner pad. Inner pad tabs. Okay, let's do this. Okay, let's kind of give things a kind of proper name. This new 3D code kind of feels a little snappier. But then I haven't like saved any like, I haven't like put any, what do you call it? Like any settings on here or anything like that. So this is from me to you. Or from Nikki to you.
Hello, my friend.
Sometimes she has a lady voice and a guy's voice, so it kind of mixes from time to time. Okay, so we're going to take a retopo. Just keep it simple. We're going to add. We have a new poly group. Let's turn symmetry on. I'm going to go right down the middle. Maybe be able to get away with just doing one side. Let's do the stop part. Actually, let's just do this edge right here. So you click where you want the new polygon to go. Should just back up a bit. Just drop it right here. So the reason why I'm doing this is because someone asked me, hey, why do you... Oh, whoa. Why didn't that... Hold on here, guys. Just gotta have to do that over. Someone asked me, why do you have to do retopoing or whatever it is? It's because in-game engines can't handle like large amounts of polygons. So you have to do like a low resolution mesh that represents the high resolution mesh. To keep things like really efficient. Now I'm pretty certain like if I have 3D code generate one, it should do it pretty quickly. Let's pick something simple like this to do a kind of like a retopo tutorial almost. I should really try to focus. We should be able just to do like, I think like 1/4 of this, and it should it should work. I'm just gonna go ahead and do along here also. Yep. So I've been watching a bunch of Studio Ghibli animated movies with my wife, and it's been going pretty good. And I forgot how inventive and imaginative some of those movies could be. I think the last one that I can't remember us watching is called Castle in the Sky. And at first I was like, man, it's a little weird, you know, but you know, it didn't feel. Actually, the last one we watched wasn't Castle in the Sky. Excuse me, it was Ponyo. Yeah, and Ponyo was probably one of the more recent ones compared to Castle in the Sky. But Castle in the Sky was kind of cool. It had this apparently this civilization was so advanced. They used to live in this castle, this kind of fortress in the sky almost. This other kind of thing in the sky, and they decided that with all the advanced technology and everything like that, their lives wasn't any better for it. Things just got worse, so they abandoned everything and they moved down from the sky castle to places to just regular old Earth. And they moved there, and they were living regular lives, and apparently, like, I think, like, you know, over time, like, you know, they kind of forgot about their kind of like their roots of being these kind of royal high technology people, and their kids, you know, people always heard rumors of it, you know, and it became a rumor at that point. Well, oh yeah, there's a castle in the sky or whatever it is, and yeah, it was about these characters discovering like, you know, their ancestral roots, and, you know, finding this castle in the sky with all this advanced technology. And, you know, yeah, and I don't want to sell out the movie if you plan on watching it, but it was a good movie. Something worth checking out for sure. It was a little bit slow to kind of start up with, but once they got to the castle in the sky, then things started making sense, and things kind of picked up. Another one that we watched that I think didn't age that well was Princess Mononoke. I mean, it was pretty nice. It looked great, but that's another anime that you know, that's one that probably didn't age too well, but still pretty. Still a you know, one that's worthwhile watching for sure. Let's go into that. Let's pick a different tool. So the other movie that we watched, that I don't think that aged that gracefully, but it's the effects was pretty cool. Was Spirited Away. So looking at it now, it's like, oh, okay. It's like, I think at the time when I watched it, like when it first came out, it was like Spirited Away. You know, it was I didn't get the story. I was just watching the animation. You know, like the animation was, you know, is still some of the really interesting and imaginative animation. I won't call it technical. I mean, some things were technically really good. So yeah, Spirited Away was a good one. And then what's the other one we watched? You know, one I was about to watch was called Kiki's Delivery Service. And I kind of didn't like the kind of, you know, I didn't like the premise of it, so I didn't bother watching it. It was a little, felt a little bit boring. But, yeah, you know, just going through and checking out some older anime and stuff is all that's fun stuff, man. I know I had to like merge this part right here. So this shape here shouldn't take that long for me to do. Whoa, what was that? Okay, it's better. See what's going on right there? It's gonna do that. You could cheat like that a little bit with this stuff because in the end. There's technically no moving parts, so I'm just gonna do kind of like a little bit of insets in here, something like that. something like that. Oop. Okay. Let's just cut this part here. Something like that. Okay. Hey, Mr. Kaplu, if you're watching me after the fact, come and stop in sometime and say hello. You know, I know that you address concerns about Twitch's policy, but the policies, you know, or whatever, you know, the things that they propose is only as good as what people are willing to display on them. You know. So, you know, here we'll always try to keep things PG and this regular PG in terms of no nudity, but the art, you know. I mean, I might have nudity, but it just definitely wouldn't be about nudity, right? It will be about, you know, art and anatomy and that kind of thing. So, don't get too worried, you know, old xsin here wouldn't, that's not what we're about here on this channel. Or on this stream. Is auto snap off all this time? No wonder. Okay. I'm gonna have to snap everything. Snazap. There you go. I was wondering why is, you know, stuff felt kind of floaty. I mean, for snappy, you know, if it was auto snap, it was doing a pretty good job. Right? It was doing a pretty good job here. What? Okay, so this might seem a little repetitive, a little boring, but definitely it's not boring. It's just it's not boring for the person that's doing it. It's like almost putting together a little puzzle piece and kind of like trying to figure out like what's the best route. What's the best route to take. When trying to make a game ready mesh. And sometimes you work on things that are such small parts of games, or a small part of the project that you're working on, like, it's not even really worth mentioning that much, Now, you've heard stories of, I don't know if you've heard stories, but I've heard stories of people who went to work for like EA and those bigger companies, and they end up just doing like things like cups or like plates and tires and cars and just a small mundane stuff. I mean, a lot of that stuff could be it could be automated, but sometimes you need like a slight artistic touch to the game, especially if the game is stylized. Sometimes you can still do stylized things using like procedural stuff, but sometimes you want it by hand also. I'm going to try to cover the surface with basically 1 or 2 polygons. Posture check. Water. Okay, that's enough for the webcam, guys. I'm going to turn it off. We're going to just focus on this. Okay, let's go. Just see if we can get the side happening here. Try not to think too hard about it. This would be so cool when once we once we put it in the level and everything like that, see the character run, stepping on it and stuff like tiles. I think that would be pretty cool. That's what keeps me motivated, like, you know, seeing everything work out in the end. You know, that's why a lot of people don't get into like even doing video games, because sometimes it takes a while before you even see any results. And you know what, I've heard of I was watching a documentary on what game was it? I forgot the game. I think it was Halo. Yeah, and you know, do you guys know that there was a Halo? Let me think about this really well. I think it was Halo. I think there was a Halo that they were making, and they spent like 3 years working on it to come to find out, either a year or 3 years, I can't exactly remember, but it was a long time. And to come to find out that they had nothing, right? So they paid people, they had all their artists, programmers was doing stuff, and people was modeling things, but at the end of the day, like, the game just didn't come together, you know. And you know, before I started like getting into game development, I used to hear that, and I couldn't imagine like how that could even happen, right? What do you mean nothing? You know, what do you mean that, you know, it couldn't, you know, nothing happened? Something has to happen, you know, if they were all working on something, you know. But now that I'm in like doing some game development, I could see how that could happen. You could work on something, and there's so many pieces to it. Even if you try to simplify it, it's still sometimes things still don't work out. But the thing is, what do you do when things don't work out? That's what makes a game successful or not. You know, do you give up at that point, or do you throw in a towel and abandon that project and go on a different thing? Or, you know, do you change professions? What do you do? What do you do when things don't work out? Or do you batten down the hatches, learn from your mistakes, and try to see if you could execute it? So I think that's the difference between a lot of successful game studios opposed to ones who weren't successful. From what I could tell, like, so they're working on Halo, and nothing came of what they were working on. But you know what they did? They battened down the hatches, and they're like, okay, you know, they took the reins on everything, and they kind of brought everybody together, and they really tried to bring about make the game happen, you know. So in the end, they did have something to show for it, and it wasn't the first Halo that happened on. I think it was like a newer Halo. Yeah, but stuff like that does happen to even like big studios. A lot of indie games don't make it because it's like climbing a hill that progressively gets. There's like sometimes there's no like plateau. There's no leveling ground. Okay, so I'll give you. So I'm speaking like in real riddles, right? So let me see if I can give you guys like a practical example, right? Okay, hold on here. I'm not going to show you. I'm just going to see if I can explain. Okay, let's explain a practical example a little bit more specific, right? Now remember, this is an example. So okay, let's say you're making. Let me think. Okay, so you can make different kinds of games, right? So you can make like a simple mobile game, you know, which is really a really good thing if you're doing a first time game. You know, it's good to start simple. But even in doing something simple, you know, it's still complex, especially if it's new, right? So a lot of times some game developers would say, hey, if you want to get into games, don't start by making games, start by making other things and that kind of thing, right? But in the end, it's according to the passion you have for the other things to even keep those up, the passion you have for the game. So it depends on the, you know, how much love you have for what it is you're going to work on. Right? So an example is, say if like we're making like a golfing game, right? So like we're making a golfing game, or let's say we're making Gears of War. Okay, that's even more practical, right? So we're making Gears of War, and what's the first thing? Say, hey, you know, the first thing we should do is let's see if we can have a military guy run through like an empty space. If we could get a guy, he could run from point A to point B, and the player could control him, then we're making progress, right? So like, say like you start like that, right? So you eventually reach that hurdle. So first off, you even reach that hurdle, you gotta say, we gotta come up with a design for what this guy looks like. So now you gotta design that. Then after we design him, we gotta like model him and stuff. So you model him. So okay, we gotta come down with a list of animations that the player could perform with this guy. So now you make like he could run, he could jump, he could pick stuff up off the floor, he could die, he could dying animations, he could, you know, he might get hit, so that's a get hit animation. You know, so you have a whole list of animations. So after you finish do all of that, now you gotta put it in a game engine that you could actually control, right? So now, you know, you say like you find like your, you know, like a game engine that you like, and like the Unreal Engine, right? You put them in Unreal, and you say, okay, we have a basic character control. So that takes time, because even though it says basic, you know, you still gotta, you know, you still gotta put some effort into it if you want to make it a success, right? You can't just go with, or the cookie cutter stuff is good for like just quick, you know, let's get it down, let's get the idea down, let's put it in, let's get it going. So the cookie cutter works that way, right? But then after a while, once you have the final game, now, you know, people, you know, like if you're going to sell it, a lot of gamers are not going to accept like just straight on cookie cutter stuff. They want to know that, you know, you touched it a little bit, you know, like it's something that works for the game that you're having. Even if it's cookie cutter, it's gotta like work within the game world and everything. But anyway, so say like you got all that going. So now it's like, okay, we got this guy running around. So okay, it's a Gears of War. So we gotta make like enemies that you could defeat, right? So you know, you should be able to shoot at enemies. And once we start getting into enemy AI, then all of a sudden, then the rat's nest comes, right? So now you gotta create this enemy that is aware of his surroundings. So he just gotta be able to navigate, you know, navigate from point A to point B within the game world, right? What is he doing in the game world if the character is not there? Oh, you gotta have him patrol. Maybe he's guarding something. So you gotta put that, you gotta get that working. I remind you, anything like that, you gotta get the model down, right? So you gotta get the design down, then you gotta get the animations happening for each thing that you want the enemy to do. You gotta do animations that kind of work. You know, there's procedural animation, things that's coming along the horizons. You know, we're not quite there yet. There's some of that, but you know, I think with AI assisted games should make things easier. That's my thought. But anyways, yeah, so we're coming back. So that's what we got going. Right, so okay. We got some stuff. We got an enemy walking around. He could recognize the player. When he sees the player, he shoots at the player, or he rushes at the player. And all of a sudden, you could spend like a lot of time working on the brain of this enemy. Because the more intelligent you could get this enemy, or more reactive to what the player is doing, and the more intelligent the enemy seems, the better your game would feel for the person that's playing it in this genre, right? That's why a lot of people go to like simpler games, because you won't have to work out some of these other complex interactions with enemies and that kind of thing. So you go to a simplified enemy. And then there's a lot of like tricks to some of this stuff. Ooh, what happened here? I think I hit a button by accident. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so once you get that going, so you have a character, right? You got an enemy, somewhat, you know what I mean? And the enemy might even be perfect, because that might be actually working on your enemy might actually be a work in progress, man. Like, it's, you know, because enemy AI and stuff, and you're right on the edge of where of where artificial intelligence is. So that's some like really complex stuff to code. And you can look at different examples online on how to get like a somewhat decent, intelligent like enemy working in a video game. And that's where I'm at right now, right? But moving on. So say if like you have that in the bag, right? Now you got to think about gameplay, right? So like you can't. The game is not just about running around shooting this one or two guys. It has to be. It has to have a storyline, and because of the storyline, you might have puzzle elements in the game to intrigue the player a little more about, you know, and to involve them a little more than just straight shooting, run and gun. Although a lot of straight run and gun games actually work, right? You think about things like Quake. You know, I think Doom is like that. I think Doom may still have some puzzles in it in the newer Doom and that kind of thing. Not sure, you could correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah. But then, you know, doing puzzles, you know, then you start thinking about like logic, right? Like how if I do X, then Y happens, and if I do Y, then Z, and then Z happens, and you know. So you gotta have the mind for building games like that, and that's where things like card games come into play. You know, if you're a big card game and practical game buff, some of that comes into there, you know. So I'm still building a lot of that stuff, right? So there's a whole nother side other than creating like, you know, pretty images, you know, pretty art and stuff like that. There's literally like a programming technical side to, of course, creating a video game, which people, you know, which a lot of people would look at as, you know, just like toys, right? If you create a video game, it's like a toy. It's just supposed to be fun, right? But even creating toys, you know, there's some artistry going on there, you know, because the person's got to be like, you know, a toy maker, right? And toy making, you know, incorporates many other skills, right? Like woodworking is according to the toy you're making, you know, or like industrial design sometimes comes into play. And also, if you're a person, you know, you're skilled in certain areas, it helps other areas. So like for me, like designing levels is, you know, it's a little easier, you know, and designing and coming up with game concepts and stuff. Notice what I'm doing, I'm just kind of going over this, so all these will be kind of almost expressed in texture, but we could go ahead and further cut some of this. Anyways, as I was saying, you know, so we're making our game, you know, we got a lot of this stuff kind of more or less happening, right? Then after all that, you got to play test the game, because a lot of times when you're creating a game as a developer, you don't actually see whether something is fun or not. You know, because sometimes in the initial idea when you're creating it, oh, I was like, oh man, that's the main point of the game. It's fun. You know, this is the main thing in the game. And then after, when you get people to play test it and check it out, they're like, that's not fun. We rather this other thing that maybe you as a developer never considered, and that becomes the major gameplay element in the game. You know, because it's more fun for, you know, what I would call, quote unquote, the average gamer, you know. So all these kinds of different things, and then you're talking about, then on top of all that, human sensibility, right? So if you make a game based upon what's popular right now, you're gonna make a game that's for the past, right? Because what's popular right now, once you're ready to release a game, may not be popular when you're ready to release a game, right? You know, and if you're trying to sell a game, you know, you don't want something that's necessarily popular, but you want something that's interesting for the people that you're going to sell it to at that time. So it's almost like you got to have like a sixth sense of trends and the taste, and, you know, different taste, that kind of thing. Now there's certain things that remain true in human, you know, in human what do you call, human psychology, right? So if you think of a game like Pac-Man, you know, like I show up, you know, whether like whoever you are, whether you're like, you know, you're born, you know, in the last 10 years or 15 years or whatever, whenever you were born or however old you are, I'm pretty sure a lot of people still love Pac-Man, right? At all age levels, right? And I think, you know, that's a testament to the people that designed Pac-Man. I think what happened with Pac-Man is that you know, it appears to be, I think Pac-Man is a simpler game compared to a lot of the games now, but it's not a simple game. It's just simpler compared to the games that are out now. You know, but I think Pac-Man hit on some psychological and some basic fundamentals when it comes to creating this kind of stuff, creating video games. So Pac-Man, you know, is like, it's easy to understand what you need to do, right? You have a maze. A lot of people, when they see a maze, you think it's something that you need to get through, right? To get to a particular point, you need to find your way through the maze. All right, so that's the first thing. So that takes care of that. You don't really have to teach anybody. Once you have a certain age, you kind of understand what a maze looks like and what a maze is. Like, not much explanation there. Although, you still should have a tutorial explaining exactly what it is. But that's just good game design. But it's not like it's gonna destroy anything if you don't do it, right? At least not in Pac-Man. Alright, so Pac-Man kind of starts you off with a maze, and then you see these things that, icon, like the icon or the enemies, they're icon of what we consider ghosts to be like. Right? So they use the icon of a ghost, which is kind of like two eyes and something that looks like a sheet, to be these ghosts that chase you. And when you see ghosts, most people like think, okay, I gotta run. I don't want to be near a ghost, right? So these things are chasing you through this maze, and you're trying to find the end of the maze. But Pac-Man doesn't have like a exit of their maze. They just have like little pellets. So when you move left or right, you realize the Pac-Man start eating these tiny little dots, and you're like, wait a minute, I gotta eat all these tiny dots and avoid the ghosts, like off the bat. You could have a tutorial for Pac-Man, but Pac-Man almost doesn't need one, right? So it's just that straightforward. All right, so that's the holy grail of gaming, making something so straightforward that when you put it in the hands of anyone that's playing, they can kind of pick it up. Okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is where I'm supposed to go. Okay, this is the premise of the game. They could see it like right off the top. All right. Now, the game I'm working on, you might be watching me for a while, and you might not actually know, what's the full premise of it is, because this game is a little more narrative. You understand? And if I give away too much, it'll kind of sell out. It'll kind of sell the game out. So a lot of like these modern like type games is kind of like on the movie principle of like surprises, right? You don't want to ruin the surprise, even by you watching me create some levels and that kind of thing. If I was to hand you, if you're watching me and I hand you the game and this is the first level, it mightn't feel like anything new to you, but to somebody who never followed, who never watched me, they're gonna be like, oh my, this is pretty cool. They might think like that. They mightn't be like, oh, this is the best game I've ever played. No, they'll just be like, wow, this is cool. And later on, according to other surprises that we have in there, it could be like, wow, this is cool. And for some people, it might be the best game that they've ever played, until someone else shows them something different that might be even better. But anyways, yeah. So games and gaming and everything is like psychology. At least that's what I think. This is the way that I'm approaching it. All right. And one of the medium, which is the medium I was kind of like trained in and kind of got into, and which is my first passion. One of my first passions in terms of media, which is movies, right? So I did go to school to be a director, right? But I also like to watch a lot of like science fiction movies, right? I mean, I like other genres, right? And I watch like some drama, and it's good to know other like genre, especially if you want to direct a movie, if you want to actually make one. It's good to know like comedies and action and different things, but you might specialize in like one area. You might be really good at one area. So the one area that I think that that's definitely the area that I like the most is science fiction, and that's where most of the stories that I write and ideas I come up with and everything is science fiction based. Because those stories intrigue me the most, and a lot of the science fiction that I'm into, to be honest with you guys, is kind of like things that I equate with real life, right? So it's things that I find about this, about the world that I live in, and I try to do science fiction kind of based upon that. Okay, so basically we just kind of did everything up there. I'll go back on top there and we will fix that up a bit. Let's just kind of like see if we can cap off the bottom part. So I'll come here and then we come right over here. Okay, so it finally found it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start doing a little more cuts in here. Excuse me. Oh, come on. I think like there's like some kind of distance thing going on here, where if I'm too close to the line, it doesn't wanna do something. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna try to fix here up just a little bit. Okay. Okay. At least we got one side here that we could duplicate, you know, whatever over on that side. Even if we take symmetry off. So let's turn symmetry off. We got one side somewhat alright. Okay. Just make sure that it's somewhat propagate. The circle is somewhat propagated properly. Okay. And this is how you would want to do it. You would want to do quarter, take this, and then duplicate it around. But what will probably happen is that this would be mirrored this way, and it wouldn't quite look like this in the end, I guess, unless, and I go ahead and you know. Okay, let's see what's going on with the model here. Let's try to make the model real. So I'm gonna save this. Put some symmetry on that. Yeah, because see, like, maybe this part might be okay, but other parts wouldn't quite line up. But let's see if we make the model real, what happens. So symmetry, mesh, apply symmetry to all layers. Alright, so I just did it. Let's turn it off. Alright, so we got our real model. What would happen if I try to snap? Let's try snap. Zoinks! Not bad! Still got some little anomalies happening right there because it, you know. But everything else is fine. I mean, I technically could get rid of all this. Okay, so I'm gonna undo that. Right. Back to our 1/4 like that. And let's see if we could do some baking now. So it's already doing its thing. But let's bake from here, let's bake this onto that. So before I even do that, I'm just gonna look at these pieces. So it's gonna do each of these pieces. Let's bake it. And in baking it, I think it's gonna try to make its own UV. So I'm coming over here. I'm looking at this. Oh, you know what? Before I bake it, let me just cancel that. I may want to grab this little guy and have him just stand right there. Alright, so this is kind of bordered like that. That is like that. Okay, everything seems like it should work. Okay, let's try it now. It's busy bake. Oh, notice how this part here is kind of lifted up. Let's try to get that back there in cutting. Let's try to get that back. Something like so. Let's cut in here. Get that slight raised edge, and then it goes back into a part that's not quite raised. Oops. Something like so. Let's bring this part in here a little bit closer. Oh, not too close. It's close enough. Okay, so it's kind of like a little weird. Let's delete that. Okay. And this is a little bit raised up here. Let's try for that. I think we should be okay doing that. This part here is a little raised. Just gonna try to give it something like that. So it's kind of more on the edge there. Okay, we're trying to get away with the least amount of polygons to describe the surface of this thing as possible. I know like the below part could just be completely flat. I'm good with that. Okay, so let's try baking. Okay. So preview the outer shell, right? So this is the outer. Okay, so we want to make sure that this is clear. It's not intersecting once we do outer like that. And then let's try the inner, and the inner you don't want to see like the inner parts peeking out. So let's go inner. Something like that. Just as it disappears. You don't have to go crazy with it. Something like so. So I'm gonna press OK. Right, and it's gonna go start to do the baking. So I happen to know like 2048 is too much. Let's go 1024. Let's give this let's call this tile underscore UV. Okay, let's see here. It's gonna do auto UV mapping. That's fine. So Blender, yep. Hey, let's go. That's okay. Okay, so now what I did, it totally did it, and it put it into the paint room. So if we go in the paint room here, then we would see like the sculpt tree aside the sculpt, and we should just have like one half of it. See that? That worked out pretty well. Okay, so I wanted to let's see if we could build back the mesh here. I'm going to go into Retopo room, right? And I'm going to turn symmetry back on. Let's symmetry mesh. Let's apply to all layers. So that essentially made it real. Let's go back into paint. Bam. Oh, not bam as yet. We probably want to redo all of this to grab it back. But okay, so let me see something here. Sorry, topo. Okay, so we definitely rebuilt it. We already have it UV mapped with everything, with the UV map taken up completely, you know, one side. Although I wish like the underlying okay, let's go back here. See, topo, stone symmetry off. Yeah, although I wish in the UVs like this part here was a lot smaller. Well, you could actually do that. Well, that's interesting. But that might actually screw up the texture, wouldn't it? Oh, no, it didn't. Oh, it actually... Whoa, that is powerful. Okay, let's go back into the UV room. I did not know you could do that in here. Oh, we're gonna jump in this guy here. The texture stuck with it. I was not expecting that. But that is something different. So the bottom texture we don't need it big. We don't need that bottom texture big at all. What we do need is a top piece bigger. I'll make that a little bit tinier. And can I rotate that? Let's see. Something like so. Wow. So technically, I should be able to. I'm trying to clear this guy away. Let's rotate this guy. So the textures literally go along with for the ride. That's amazing. Can we select all of them? Select all the islands. Yes, so we should be able to scale it. Oh. Oh, maybe a piece is forgotten here. Select that piece. Oh, look at that. Aha. I would totally like stack this differently. Might as well put this guy over here if we're going to do all of that. And grab this guy. Let's try to get this guy out of the way. There's always those long thin pieces, huh? Let's do something like this. Let's try to Try to get him out of the way. That gives us a little more something, doesn't it? Okay. We'll see if I screwed things up. This is how you kinda gotta experiment with this stuff. Or read the documentation. Experimenting is a lot more fun. Okay, so got that there. Let's go back into the paint room. Oh, I totally updated it. What? And kept all the textures? That is nuts. Oh, look at it. Look at what it's doing here. Okay, so there's a little anomalies that happened, but by and large, it tried to do it. Let's go back here into Retopo room. Maybe we could bake it again. Bake. Bake with normal map. Yep. The outer shell. Let's try to bake again. Go back. Bake. Okay. Oh, we want to keep the UVs that we got, for sure. Come back to that 1024 thing. Call this tile underscore UV. Let's try it again. Okay, said it baked it. Let's go back in. See what shenanigans we got. Okay, so now, yeah, now we got shenanigans. Okay. Okay. Let's see if we can fix that. Bake. Let's go 2 on that. Oh, let's go 2 on that. Let's try 3 in this. This looks like this might work. Let's just try this. Press OK. I wanted to keep the, maybe it does have to auto map. Let's keep it. Come on. Did that already? Hold on here. It didn't do it? Okay, let's try this again. Let's try one more time with keep UV settings. Okay, okay, so it did do something. If it, let's see if it worked. Okay, so it didn't do anything, so I'm gonna have it generate it. Okay, let's go here, go back to retopo, bake, normal, okay. Let's preview the inner, okay. I'll have it auto do whatever it wants to do. I mean, technically it should be 512, but let's just see. Invert normals. Why is this on? Oh, was that clicked by accident? Triangulate. Okay, so it's redoing everything. Let's check this out again. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's to be expected. So like, it totally did this part the way it's supposed to. This part here didn't quite make it. Okay, and it auto unwrapped everything. Let's go back. Okay. Okay, guys, that's enough playing around there. Okay, so we're gonna go back to basics and just yeah, I'm just gonna do a piece of this. So the original was kind of like white, this kind of white with kind of circuitry things on it and all that sort of stuff. So I'm just gonna go ahead with a white, but we could, you know, we could build this back. So mass and texture resolution. So this is something called a paint object. That's this thing right here. Call this tile. Actually, it's called a level tile. Okay, let's bring out our shaders. So we'll come in here into panels, smart materials. Let's see if we can get like something that looks a little more gold. No, I think I'm able to merge areas or merge down. Alright, so this is all the gold parts there. Let's look for some. Let's go into metal. And they have like a pretty nice gold here. Kind of shows you like what's going on there with the gold. I just need a little environment to go along with that so we can see it better. Trying to pick a decent environment for it. Oh yeah, then this environment looks pretty good. So I'm just gonna drop that gold. This is gold polish. This is gold rough. I'm gonna go with the polished one. Refill material. Let's try that again. Let's try for the part that's supposed to be white. I'm going to merge these down again. Let's pick a different material for that. I always like to try the rubber materials to see if we could really get something to look like rubber. Okay. Okay, it's got to build some maps also. Let's try for a different material. Let's look for something with one edges. Probably another metal. Probably something painted. This is like painted. You have like copper. Plastic dirty. Let's look for a painted metal. Probably something like this. Maybe even like that. Metal old, metal paint. Probably something like that. And then we could change the color on that. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to come in on the duplicate version. Edit smart material. I'm just going to put my name in front of this so I know it's edited. Okay, let's pick a color. think last time we were going with like white or something, so I'll go with a kind of whitish gray maybe. Probably something like that. And the metal, metallic is all the way up. Paint, and then there's dirt. So I think this is fine for now. I'll probably change the dirt color, probably put it a little bit more towards grayish blue. I'm gonna save that, and I'm just gonna apply that. Oh wow, I'm actually getting something weird happening there. Let's see what this is about. If I fill entire layer, what happens? Fill entire layer. Oh wow. Something other than... Okay, so this is one of those things where end up having to bring it into Blender and do a whole thing on it again. Let's see if we could solve this. This is like some of the things where I talk about curveballs that, you know, that normally would come your way. Yeah, like part of it filled and then other parts didn't. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna save. Let's check the UVs real quick. Okay, so this is the UVs. Okay, I guess that's the underside, okay? That's the underside. That's really weird behavior. Let's scale that down. I don't think it did the best job in laying out these UVs. So that may be something that that I could work on. Okay. Gonna relaying these out a little bit. Scale the big boy up. Okay, let's leave that like that. Whoa, so yeah, Let's jump back in and see what we got. Floor tile. What should have been 2 seconds, you know, in true fashion here in the in the stream. It's taking a little bit. Okay, so let's go back into UVs. Okay. First of all, like, where's my UV preview in here? Like, that should not go away anywhere. That should totally be in here as part of the UI at all times. Because this is a UV room, right? I want this small. That's the bottom. This could stay that size. Let's rotate it to give it like a really low profile. Try to use as much of this texture space as possible. Scale this up. Okay. So I'm liking that, so I'm just gonna save. File save. Oh, wrong thing. Let's go back in here. Okay, so we do have this here. I'm gonna rebake this. Where's our surface? Surface material default. Let's go rid of that. Okay, got rid of all that. Let's go back into the retopo room. See, let's go back here. Did we just get rid of? What? Okay, so something's going on here. I'm going to try reopening this again. Okay, back in track here. Okay, I don't know what happened a few minutes ago. It was just really strange. Okay, so we got a retopo. Okay, so we got a UVs happening. So the retopo I'm gonna rebuild. I'm gonna tell it to build a mesh. Right, then I'm going to turn symmetry off. So it has the mesh. So it's a little funner doing it this way. Okay. I'm gonna bake this. Let's rebake it. There's the outer shell, which is fine. So we're in a shell. So 3 on that. Treat materials as separate textures. Okay. Just do keep UVs. Let's go. Oh, it actually didn't. What? Okay. Gotta obviously clean these layers up. Oh, okay, I see 2 different objects in here. That's what's going on. Let's go back again. Okay, so you know, alright, so what's happening is that it's getting problems because I did this by hand. So you just see how I did it by hand. You could do things that way. You know, there's obviously little things that I need to fix, like maybe like here, and needs to be snapped on better and all that sort of stuff. So let's just go ahead and do it. Let's come here. Just do that snap. So that fixed some of the things. Right, this part's supposed to be snapped up there properly and everything like that, but let's keep it like this. I'm gonna keep it default. Let's just go. Okay, so here it is. In all its low res glory. And I think this works. Right, some parts work better than the others, but we could always cut things and redo things in a certain way. So just gonna try to apply those materials on here. And everything should work properly. So I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna merge down. Alright, so this is all one here, and let's merge this down, merge down. merge visible, merge down. So all these are one. Okay, let's just put our gold on here. And sometimes I try to go for, like, you know, I think of this stuff too technical sometimes. It's not always a good thing. So let's apply the gold on here. Let's go fill entire layer or refill material. Alright, so the material is filled with the gold. See, it looks a lot better this time. And let's do it in a pad. And last time we had, like, you know, this we had this painted metal right here, which is the one I was using. Alright, so it wants to generate some extra maps for that. That's fine, it could do that. Let's just let it do its thing. Okay, it wants to generate another map. Let's do its thing again. So it's generating maps to make this successful. That's okay. Okay, so I'm gonna look at, so we're looking at this here. Alright, and let's try to see if we can make this paint a little more detailed. Let's come in here and into the UV editor. Okay, so there's a texture, there's a noise texture right here. Click on that. It's a little too much. Let's just bring it up to like about that. Press done. Let's see if there's any other textures. Okay, there's another texture right here. Let's click on this. Scale it. Scale it back a bit. There's roughness. Let's give the paint a little bit of roughness. Okay, let's come back here with this one. Add scatter, let's make this a little more detailed. Maybe not too much, just enough. Okay. Just gonna save that and let's apply this to the, let's apply this to here. So this is a little preview window and we're just gonna apply the material to the layer. Refill material. Okay. So now the pad got, so instead of previewing it, we have it here in real time. Now we could do some little extra zippity-doo-dahs to it, and I think I would want to do that. I don't know if actually a white pad is like the best thing, but we'll see how it goes in engine. You know, I think maybe white might not be the thing. So let's try for a different color. Because if, you know, once you have like light hitting the ground, you know, it wants to get bright, and having a white tile is probably not going to work that well. Oops, excuse me. Okay, so we have the preview right here, and let's try for a different color. You know that blue that we had in that, you know, may have worked. So let's go with that blue. Let's see if we can get that blue back. And then blue and yellow is good complementary colors, so. Okay, let's dull it up a bit. I think that's cool there. Okay, let's take a look at this. I think the edges look somewhat alright. Okay. That's it. Let's save this. And let's apply that. Okay. Okay, let's add some more wear and tear to this. So let's see what the ambient occlusion is doing. Yeah, it's kind of doing its job a little bit. All right, we got the gold. Let's add some dirt to this. Let's try this dirt layer first. So that doesn't really do much. Let's try the other one. Oh yeah, this kind of like everything it's been stepped on, right? Let's try another. Let's see if we can get some more ambient occlusion, dirty, like nooks and crannies. I like the nooks and crannies one. Yeah, let's do this one. So apply. Let's make a new layer, and we're gonna apply. Let's go full entire layer with dirt. Yep. So we got it. We got dirt there. I'm just gonna give the layer that name, dirt. And let's do some scratches. So it's really like dust and scratches, right? So the scratches will be under the dirt. Let's make a new layer. Call it like scratches. Okay. And just gotta put in a capital S. Okay, and let's go. Let's look for some scratch here. Scratches. Okay, yeah, this might be. Yeah, this part here is fun. Doing the scratches part. Oh, look at that. I mean, gold technically you're not supposed to have scratches, but then I don't want it to actually be like gold. Let's try these other. Okay, and this is like rust scratches. Yeah, some of these scratches need to be doctored. Okay, so let's doctor this one and see what we get. Oh no. Okay, and let's make this a lot more detailed. Something like that. What's that? That's let's go 50 on that. Ooh, 50 is like yucky. So let's go 30 on that. Press done, and then there's like too much depth and all kinds of weird stuff going on. So I'm looking here. So what's the depth? Okay, so there's like a. So is that the noise? Is that what's going on? Oh, okay. So the degree of it. Yeah, I just put a little bit of noise on there. See, roughness, depth, edge scatter. Yeah, I'm not seeing too much in the edge scatter for now. I just want to give it a little touch, and I think we should then add another level to this, right? So okay, so let's add a little bit of this one. It's not really scratches, it's kind of like what it's doing is kind of dinging things up a bit. So yeah, not really a fan of this one. So but we're gonna still just fill entire layer with that to kind of rough things up a bit. But I think this other one is probably the action. So I'm gonna make another layer. Let's try this one. Let's make that small, and let's go into the shader itself. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah. Yeah, so this floor tile is is totally beat up. And that's the depth. Okay, that's Oh, did I just screw the depth up? Okay. Let's give it a little bit more. Okay, so I think that's fine. Let's press save on that. And let's just add it. Let's go here and full entire layer. Okay, here we go. Right, so yeah, so we got a dinged up, beat up floor tile here. And that's it. I mean, there's not much to it other than this. Okay, so let's export this bad guy. And the good thing about this guy is that he's not high res at all, right? So if we do that, that's basically what he is, right there. That's a few triangles. Okay, let's go ahead and export this, and yeah, let's go ahead. So I'm gonna go File and Export Objects and Textures. And the preset we want is Blender Cycles. Okay, and let's see what we want versus what we don't want. Emissive, so we don't want anything that's glowing. We don't want any displacement. We definitely want normal maps. We want roughness map, and we want color. So let's change this. I want everything to be JPEG. Okay, that's fine. There's no alphas. We don't need any PNGs or anything heavy bugging down the engine. JPEG is just fine. Roughness metal, okay. And what I gotta do is save where I want this. So let's save it. I'm gonna save it to let's see. Probably Blender assets, objects. Actually, let's go back to 3D code, right? So going into, okay, sort by name. Okay, where's 3D Godot? Oh, work files. Okay, 3D code assets, export and objects. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to call this level tile, because that's the name of it. Go ahead and export, and all the textures should export with it. So we go export. Bam! Yeah, that. Hey, we did it, guys. We did it. All right. Very cool. We did it, guys. We did it. Yep, and Ghost Drake is clapping. Okay, let's go. Let's bring this into Blender and then into 3D code. Did I say Blake? Ghost Drake. My bad. Let's do this. Let's go. Alright, so remember we had the puzzle piece. So this is way better than the puzzle. Alright, so let's look at the puzzle part that we had. So that's basically what we're replacing. What we have is like way better than that. It actually looks like a thing, right? It looks like something. So let's just go new, general, let's import it. File, import. The exporter is OBJ. I want to use the import OBJ, and it's in the 3D code assets and export and in objects, and see level tile object. Just import it. So it's in here. It's just huge. That's how it does. That's how 3D code does it. Let's go into shading here. All right. Here it is. Okay, and let's just check all of our different maps here. So we do have the diffuse map, so that's good. Okay, so it likes to put a roughness map in specularity, so I'm going to put a roughness in roughness where it should be, right? And the normal map, it should be non-color for Blender to preview it properly. So non-color, normal map, and then the strength you want it as 1, not 0. So everything looks nice and squared away. Alright, and the last one we want is the metallic map, which Blender doesn't import for some reason, but we're gonna get it. Alright, because we want to tell it what's metallic and what's not metallic. Metalness. Alright, and then you drop that in there. There we go. Almost what we have in 3D Code in Blender. Almost. Oh, let me see. What's the difference? Non-color? Oh, no, definitely it's RGB. Sure. Oh, is that maybe non-color in this one? Let's see. So RGB is better. Okay, so yeah, so basically this is what we got. Man, that's some shiny edged up gold. It's like gold leaf on like metal or anyway, whatever. Let's export this to 3D Code and see what we get. I also want to make sure everything is all set. Let's fix the object itself. Not 3D Code, sorry, into the game engine. So I'm gonna grab this. See one. Let's bring this one. Is like about probably about there. Okay, just gonna save. And oh yeah, I wanted the scale to be somewhat decent. So I happen to know our character height is 1 Blender cube. So this is like massive. This is like a level by itself. Okay, and the character should be able to step onto 1 tile, at least the center part. So yeah, so this should be perfect size. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply all scales. Get rid of the little reference cube there. It's called level tile. Nice. Let's look at the material, see what the material is being called here in Blender before we export it. See, it's called default, so I'm going to change that to level tile. And underscore map for material. Okay, let's export this. Oh, we should probably save it, right? So Blender, let's save this in Blender. Blender objects, right? I'm going to call this level tile. Save. Okay, let's go ahead and export this into the game engine. So we're going to go make sure it's selected. I'm going to go export and export in GLTF. Right, and we're going to go into the Godot game engine, and let's sort by name here. We want level assets, and this belongs to level 1 for now. So I'm gonna name it accordingly. So we're gonna call it L1 level tile, just for now. And make sure we have the proper preset selected. So this is raw mesh, no animation selected. Okay, export. Okay, time to check it out. Save that, minimize that. I'm going to close 3D Code. It's kind of cool to take a simple element like this and just kind of do it here on the... I like how the way our 3D Code has it shaded in here. It's pretty cool. Looks like a ninja star or something. Okay, let's see. Okay, so let's fire up Godot. It's loading. It actually loaded level tile. I just saw it. Okay, it's still loading. Oh, okay. I forgot I actually put all these things in here. Okay, so this is all. This is to do all the art of the game here. So for now, let's turn some things off. We don't need, for one, in the editor I don't need to see fog, so I'm gonna turn that off. So where's that again? That's in you don't want to view environment. Okay, that's fine. And let's turn off all the vegetation stuff, all the grass and all the weird plants. Okay. Right, so this level tile should start to solve some problems immediately. Let's bring it in. Let's take a look at it. So remember I placed it in level 1. Right, and it's see a level L1 level tile right here. So if I double click on this just to view it real quick, here it is. Man, why does it look like that? Man, that looks nasty. There's some kind of dithering on it or something. Anyways, I'm gonna bring it in just to see how it looks. I mean, I'm trying not to judge it from here. It could just also be the JPEG compression and all that, but we'll see. Let's bring it in. Gonna bring it in. Open new inherited scene. Let's do that. Yeah, I think because there's no environment. Yeah, there's something else going on in here. What is that? That's really odd. Anyways, I'm gonna wait a minute, hold on. Oh. What's that? Oh, turn that on. Oh, turn that on. Oh. Wait a minute. Oh, that's why. Oh, it was the environment. Oh, okay. I see. Okay. Whew. That's better. Okay, so let's save this as a thing. Yeah, that's looking much better. So let's save this as a thing. File, save. Alright, level assets, and we're going to add it to all the other assets in level 1. Alright, so all the other assets here. Kind of, yeah, I rather listed like that and tiled like that. Okay, so go ahead. Okay, 1 level tile. Save. Okay. Let's close this grass, close the tree, let's close this. Alright. Yeah, for a minute there, I was like, what's going on with this thing? So if I turn that off. Okay, so that's some different stuff there. Okay. Let's bring in the asset. Okay, level tile. Put it in level 1 right here, right over here. Bazoongos, it should be right there. Oh, look at it, it's there. Let's see, let's focus on that. Alright, and the reason why it looks so ugly is because it doesn't have the environment. That's why, because it's metal, it's like reflecting black. So if I turn that on, it should be somewhat okay. Yeah, wow, that's some shiny gold. I think I'll work on it some more. But anyways, let's put the tile like right there. And oh yeah, so we got to generate some stuff on this tile. So let's generate some stuff. So I'm gonna come and select the mesh, and let's just generate like a static mesh, which is, you know, to make sure that the character could interact with it. Let's save that. Let's go back. Alright, so technically I should be able to build all kinds of stuff with this. Well, let's see. What should I build? I don't know. let's duplicate. So it's probably not the best way to like sit here and just build stuff like this, but we'll see. Gotta test it out, right? Let's get rid of this extra output here. Can I get full screen on this? Oh, full screen. Keep it stream friendly, right? We'll just be able to stick that in there like so. That's kind of what I built it for. Let's see, where's the, okay, there we go. So I can do that. Just checking it out. Oh. Oh, okay. Okay, so a smart thing, you know, if you're doing like really technical stuff, right? So a smart thing, like a technical thing to probably do with this is to have this, in like something like Blender, right? And what you do in Blender is that you do like a simulation where it just drops, you know, what I would do is like have a bunch of them just drop in the level, so it kind of scatters. And then those, you know, if they look great, then you could represent those by nodes, by little reference points. You bring those reference points in here, and through a script you point it at this object, and all the objects takes the orientation and the position of those reference points, and they scatter throughout the entire level. But you could work on it in Blender, and that's a lot of scripting, and I'm not going to do that. It would be cool though, but and it would make sense, and it would make everything look, you know, that's what I would do if I was working for EA or something, or for anywhere. I would try to get something like that happening. But because it's just me, I mean, I could hand scatter this stuff for now. I think there's other tools also out there, you know. I'll just put this here, have one there. Let's just see what this looks like. Let's just run the game. I'm not gonna bore you by going through the actual game and trying to solve problems on it. I'm not gonna do that here. So when I mean solve problems, so there's certain parts. So when I say solve problem, there's certain parts of the level here where the character cannot get to. So what I think I would do in the end is to have this in Blender, and I'll create like some structures using this piece, and I'll still have the single piece to place throughout the different levels, but I'll just bring the structures in here. So in Blender I'll have the level, and I'll take this thing and I'll use Blender to kind of make structures and scatter it, and then yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, I just spoke all that out of my head into your ears, so it's official. All right, and plus it's being recorded, so all right, let's go. Let's just test this out. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, you totally did it. You stood on top of the tile piece. Oh yeah. Thing is huge. Huge, Rochester, huge. Let's see if we find the other piece here. Oh, yep, you can walk on top of it. Oh, oh snap. Yep. So that solved the problem, I guess. Let's see. Yeah, see, I couldn't get up there that much, but we could now do abandoned pieces all over the place that's submerged, embedded in the ground from a previous civilization. Let's just see if we could hit bullets on that. Yep, because there's a collision. Let's go back to this one. Yeah, we should be able to build structures out of this. Hotness! Yeah, I think I could build a structure and then... Okay, yeah, I see. Yeah, very cool. Let's try to do a couple pieces more. Okay, now I'm thinking about this. I'd probably want the center point on the very end so it hinges. So it acts like a hinge. Yeah, this can be partly buried. Okay, this will tell if I'm working with oil or not. I didn't test this part, but this part should work because this is a perfect hexagon, right? Hexagon is 6. Yeah, so it should build like that. Now let's try one more thing. Come on, let's get that full screen Let's get a full screen popping. I'm so glad we went with blue, guys, instead of white, because the white, you know, as I said, is a floor item, and the white would probably it'd be blind. It'll blind you. You know, you can't see with the white. Just rotate this real quick. Yeah, game engine tools a little bit clumsy, a little bit. You know, not quite like, you know, like a Blender or 3D Studio Max or Maya, you know, level of control. But you know, you're not supposed to have that level of control in a game engine. Just enough control to get your job done. So let's try. We're gonna build a little structure here. I'm gonna do something like this. Oh. Let's make another copy. Yeah, I'm gonna stand this piece up. Okay, let's go. Alright, little piece sticking out of the ground. Stand it up. Yeah, of course the grass wouldn't be poking through the thing. Let's bring this guy over here. So the next thing that we'll probably look into is getting some rocks up in this scenario. Just gonna bury that a bit. You know, definitely if a rock is behind it, will make sense, but we bury that a little bit? I mean, would it... This would probably be supported like that there. Okay. Okay, let's just rotate this back a bit. It's getting kind of a little clumsy like that. Do something like that. Just do something like that. Okay, yeah. Zoom in a little bit. Yeah, a little bit of intersect. You'd be surprised when you look at actual, like I've been looking at Warframe and a couple other games. You'd be surprised at the things that you'll find that's not 100. You know, you're like, wow, they actually just stuck that in there like that. You know, like stuff like that. And they'll be like, wow, you know. Yeah, you know, it's good. It's good that there's a little leeway, especially for guys like me. Right? Sometimes you wouldn't think that, you know, you'd find like little things. They try a lot of psychological tricks too. Okay, I think that's kind of cool. Yeah, it's a little bit of a structure happening. I mean, I'll probably do more on it, but yeah, let's it's kind of like a landing pad action happening. Let's just do one more and then that's it. Actually, this guy has no reason to really be there, so I'm just gonna bring him down. Yeah, all little pieces that got discombobulated somehow. Maybe there was a, you know, a big troll creature or something. Not like a troll, but maybe some kind of creature that the grass is growing through it. It'd be cool if we could project that the grass thing and the grass is over it like that. But you know, weeds and stuff are going through it. I mean, we could select these guys and just kind of scoochy them over. Which would probably be the better thing. Scoochy these guys over. Scoochy, scoochy. Let's bring these guys right here. We could have literally grabbed this little piece of a patch. And just kind of either move it out of the way or delete it. Either one will work. Let's just move it out of the way for a minute. You know, let's make everything else look thicker. Let's move this out of the way, just a smidgen. Just a smidgen. So smidgen is a unit of measurement. No, just okay. So just okay, I'm gonna rotate this just a little bit to bring it up and kind of push the edge down. Oh, whoa, whoa. Whoa, just lift it up a bit. Oh, snap, look at that. Just bring this guy over here, a smidgen. Another scientific... Okay. Yeah, well, that's something. So, yeah, let's test that out. Let's see what that looks like. Again, I don't necessarily need to see the environment in here like that. I'll just turn the environment off for here. Okay, save. Yeah, I'm pretty glad that we were able to take, like, you know, an old concept of these hexagonal pieces and make something of it that to me looks pretty okay. Okay. Save that. Okay, so I'll probably make some structures up in Blender and import those as like separate objects and kind of optimize them and stuff. But for here, let's go right ahead and just run this again. I just want to see what that looks like, kind of in a rough concept of what we got. Just run this one more time here. I don't know, maybe I should start testing things in full screen mode now. I don't know. Yeah. Oh yeah, look at all of a sudden you get a little vertical element there and yeah, surprised that gold works so well. I mean, it really translated from 3D code over to here. Yeah, you can't get on that because it's okay. I mean, I could give my guy a little more steps so he could climb over things a little bit more, but I don't know. Or maybe you could try to give him a little bit of a jump. Trying to keep it grounded. Okay, so we got some pieces to play with. We got these pieces, and then we got the barricades. Let's look at the barricades. These barricades. Something happened there. Okay. Okay, I gotta put some interactive elements into these barricades. It's supposed to act a certain way, so I'll have to, you know, that's something that I don't think it will be that difficult. Matter of fact, it should be pretty straightforward to do. Anyways, so that'll probably be a next stream. I'll probably put some interactivity in that, bring some rocks in. So okay, you guys gotta hold me to that. So hold me to that word. So that's what we're gonna do. Interactivity in the barricades, bring rocks, and probably paint the rest of these things. I'll probably do that off stream, just as regular work. But I think the rocks are gonna definitely you know, start to shape the landscape a little bit more. All right, guys. So I think that's a stream. Yeah, definitely. Let's test the guy one more time here. Yeah, let's test this one more time before. Okay, so I gotta go back all this stuff up. Looks almost like gears or something, you know, like sprockets, you know. Yeah, we grab all the screenshotties. Okay, all right, guys. So yeah, so thanks for hanging in there. You know, we took a simple shape, you know, from a previous previous game element, and we made it a whole lot better. And you know, we did stuff in 3D code. We did some really light topology, and then we did some really quick texturing. And hopefully, you know, if like you ever think about getting into 3D code, it will be like a little tutorial for you to get into that. So okay, so yeah, so guys, tomorrow I'll actually be doing the kind of chill out hangout stream tomorrow, and chill out with all you guys. I'll be drawing and probably doing other things. You know, listening to you. We could chat. We could check out things online here. We could do reactions, stuff like that. I think that might be kind of fun. We could check out some anime and that kind of thing tomorrow. So If there's anything, I'll see you guys in a little bit. xsin Nick is out. And thanks for checking the stream out. Hey. See you guys later. Take it easy. God bless.
Giving and getting. It's so easy to overlook the true meaning of Christmas. But this year, let's come home to the heart of what Christmas is all about.